Monday.
Hello.
Happy Monday. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Motivation Monday. Mindset Monday. And the Monday Rundown.
Oh, so it's agreed upon now. These are all the names of the show.
Welcome back,
Okay.
everybody, to another Monday Rundown. Right, where it like has multiple names.
Yeah.
We're really excited to be with you again. If this is the first time that you're with us here on SayThat channel, welcome. Our Monday Rundowns are fun for me and Winston because we get to really think about and talk about different ideas, concepts that we sometimes talk about, but like they don't always have to do with business.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
So we love doing this. We love getting the questions that you guys send us, so that way we can, have a discussion together and talk about them. We've been listening to different content creators, different thought leaders about different topics, especially answering the questions that you guys send us. And so this has been a ton of fun for us. So welcome. We're glad you're here.
Absolutely. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification. Subscribe, the like button, and then hit that notification bell so that you guys are aware of whenever we put out any content, especially our live shows, which you guys can catch us on Wednesday. All right. Ooh. So let's jump into today's question, guys.
How can I use anxiety to help me in my everyday life?
Really great question.
That's
really what I thought when I saw that too.
All right. I'll give a
great question though.
Great question. My first reaction is the way that you use it, like many other emotions, I think is like, okay, I'm feeling anxiety about something. This is my body's way of trying to signal something to me, trying to talk to me or tell me about something. For me, at the current moment, a lot of the anxiety that I have derives from not getting things done at the time that I said I was going to do them. And so for me, when I'm feeling the most anxious, it's like, all right, I need to put attention towards this thing that I'm feeling anxious about, so that way I can get it done. It's usually towards a certain goal. It's a goal that I have that I want to achieve anyway. So it's just a matter of like getting it done. Then there's anxiety that I have when dealing with relationships, having uncomfortable conversations. If any of you watch that episode, we'll make sure to like link that at the end. A great episode that we have, and I recognize I have anxiety around having uncomfortable conversations with friends in my life, with romantic partners, like all of that. And so that's another area where I get anxious. And so I would say I recognize that my anxiety is pointing me towards something that I need to deal with that like I know is going to be good for me in the end, but I'm just feeling a ton of anxiety around it right now. So that is where most of my anxiety lives for me right now. And so that's how I would say I would use it to help me in my everyday life. What about you?
Hold on a second. What a great answer. And it's so cool that, and we honestly have not discussed this, but I've actually come to the same place in life as well, where for me, when I feel anxious, it's me recognizing it's my nervous system, or like even my emotional way of recognizing that I have to become very focused about whatever I am doing or thinking in the moment, and I need to reframe what it is that's going on, because nothing is really wrong in the sense of like flight or fight. It's not really a situation like that ordinarily, right? It's not something that I should be afraid of, but I either have some past emotions and or way of thinking about this that is the word I tend to or used to use is like I'm triggered by. I don't usually use that as much anymore, and so it just tells me in that moment I need to stop and go, what's really going on right now? Is it the current moment that I'm uncomfortable with or uncertain about, or something is happening in? Or is that thought that I'm having about this thing that has happened, the thing that's causing this feeling in me right now? And then sometimes it may require me to step away or to, again, but it really is a moment for me to become focused. I like your way of defining it. I just need to become very focused as to what's happening right now. Because at times I would let the anxiety kind of just run its course. But I've found that didn't, you know what? No, at the stage that was going on, that was exactly what I needed to be where I am now. So nothing wrong happened there. It was just a stage that you probably need to go through, which is awareness. And now through awareness, I have found myself in a place of just having the ability to stop, thankfully, and reframe often whatever I am anxious or feeling uncertain about. I
And
think the definition of anxiety is feeling. It's either you're anxious, yeah, you are uncertain about. I'm assuming it's the future. I think worry is the past, or worry was the future. One of the two. But I think it's about being uncertain about the future.
yeah, it's being uncertain about, worrying about the future, worrying about
Okay.
something,
Yeah, how something
worry,
is going to play out.
fear,
Yeah.
about something that hasn't happened yet.
And often there are things that if I look back, and then that's another thing, the exercises teach you, like, you can look back on other things in your life that you remember thinking, oh my God, there's no way I was going to make it through this. And yet you're probably in a place now where maybe everything isn't the way you want, but it's just that thing wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so it's helped me now moving forward to say, this thing I'm tripping over, it's probably not even going to be as bad as I'm telling myself it is. And again, that whole reframing, whatever it is I'm feeling, because that's what your emotions are there to. It's a great thing, actually. It's a great thing that you can be aware of that. So I hopefully what we've shared can help you guys. But it's not just us. We've been having a blast with the people from Big Think. So let's hear what they have to say on the subject of anxiety.
Here we go.
Brain plasticity is the brain's extraordinary ability to change and rewire itself in response to the external environment. I've tried to use and explore the boundaries of brain plasticity to address some very challenging issues, particularly our high anxiety levels. You hear the word anxiety, you think, oh God, this thing I want to kick out the door. It's a disease. I have it. I don't know how to get rid of it. One of the first things that I wanted to do was flip the script on our whole mindset around anxiety. Anxiety is a normal human emotion. We all have it. Okay, so you're never going to get rid of it. It evolved to protect us. And so my whole book, Good Anxiety, is teaching us to look at anxiety in a different way. We can use neuroscience and tools from psychology to learn how to take advantage of anxiety and learn about the gifts or superpowers that come from
it. Like I'm smart.
Anxiety is the feeling of fear or worry, typically associated with situations of uncertainty.
There it is.
The amygdala is a brain structure that is automatically activated when you hear that bump in the night that launches your anxiety. And the brain area that can help that calming in that situation is the prefrontal cortex, the area that's involved in executive function. It helps you order your day. But unfortunately, in situations of high stress, high anxiety, what happens is not only is your amygdala activated, but your prefrontal cortex gets shut down too. So that makes the situation even worse. One thing that trips essentially all of us up is something called the negativity bias, which says that we are more prone to see the negative sides of things than the positive. What happens is, if you're tired, if you're stressed, if lots of problems are coming up, you will tend to see the world in, oh my God, this person hates me. I'm never going to get the job. I'm never going to lose the weight that I want to lose. All these things become part of the big stone of anxiety dragging along with you. Cognitive flexibility is the idea that we are able to look at and approach situations in lots of different ways. We are habit-forming animals, and sometimes without even knowing it, you are approaching the same situation the same way that you approached it when you were 6 years old. Cognitive flexibility says that if there's a realization, there are other ways to approach it. You have the ability to do just that. I dove into trying to find gifts from all the different kinds of anxiety. And that's how I came up with the 6 gifts or superpowers of anxiety. Let me mention my top 3. The first one is a superpower of productivity, that what if list. What if you didn't do that? Or what if you did that and you
Those
didn't
are
do it
mine.
right? That anxiety is focused
okay.
on things that are important to you in life. That is the key. Evolutionarily, anxiety evolved to have us put an action on it. 2.5 million years ago, it was either you fight the danger that was causing anxiety or you run away from it. That is the fight or flight response. The way to transform it is to turn that what if list into a to-do list. Put an action on each one of them, whether it's asking a friend for help, doing something, Googling something, and go tick through them one by one. Superpower number 2 is the superpower of flow. Flow is a psychological state. It's those moments that you're doing something that you're really good at. Time stands still. It's like you're moving in slow motion.
Like you're in the zone.
And everything is just going beautifully. All the data out there says that anxiety can eliminate flow.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to talk about flow, but I couldn't just say, well, sorry, if you have anxiety, no flow for you. Okay, maybe it's not classic flow. Maybe it's microflow. Your own anxiety can make your own moments of microflow, which we all have during the day, even if you don't realize you do, be even flowier. Superpower number 3, think about that anxiety that is most familiar to you, your most common form of anxiety. You know what it feels like, you know what it looks like. All you have to do is notice when others might be suffering from that same form of anxiety. And here's your superpower. All you have to do is give a kind word, a simple helping hand in that situation. And I love this superpower because I can't think of anything that we need more in the world today than higher levels of empathy.
Say that.
Yeah, for real.
An activist mindset is one that is flexible, that can look at a situation and see lots of different possibilities. Everything from that negativity bias all the way to, oh, actually, maybe this is going to teach me something really interesting, really new. To have an activist mindset requires cognitive flexibility. You're going to try something new. Sometimes it's hard, but if you practice it in different ways every single day, it can be something that becomes a very powerful tool. This is a really important part of my book. And I think it was emphasized because of this situation that really shaped the book, which is a difficult passing of 2 of my family members, and really coming out of that with a beautiful example of an activist mindset. Everybody's going to experience loss of a loved one during their lifetime. My activist mindset was knowing that all of that pain and that loss and that sadness was undergirded by love for these people. And that was my activist mindset. I brought that beautiful, helpful, almost life-saving example of activist mindset to my addressing anxiety. What is it about my anxiety that is difficult? Can I bring a superpower or a gift from that as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to learn more about yourself?
Well said. You know what's so interesting? I actually just saw a video. One, this woman made me think of some things we've heard from Joe Dispenza. And I also listened to a gentleman yesterday who was talking about neuroplasticity and how something we should do is every day look to do something that you normally do. And the example he gave was if you use your right hand to brush your teeth with your left hand. And he goes, what it essentially is doing is your mind goes in automatic pilot for many things that it does throughout the day. But if you can find things throughout your day that you can force almost like to wake your brain up to make it have to think like, oh, I am brushing my teeth with my left hand. It's probably something you have to pay a lot more, again, attention to, focus to. You find that it allows your brain in situations where you would think, oh, I'm stuck. Your brain starts to think, no, I just got to find another way to get through this thing. And that's what the neuroplasticity, that's what that ability helps your brain to do, to have the ability to obviously adapt to different circumstances. But again, we find ourselves so routine, like things are, and I think it's interesting because then even in the help, like I think personal development in not environment or community, I think there is a lot of talk about certain routines, like have a certain routine, maybe gratitude journaling and these different things. I'm not saying to get rid of those things. Those routines and structures are great. Within that routine, maybe do something different. So, if you start on this page, maybe flip it around and start at the other page, turn the book, I don't know, something that can take your current routine that's working for you, but just throw a little bit in there so that you have to adapt to different things throughout your day. That I don't want to talk anyone out of something that they're having success in already.
But I love that. It's like she said, the micro flow, like it's helpful to get you to like, it's just practicing with your brain. It's funny that the brain exercise is like what came up like at the end of that video, because that's what I feel like you're doing, is like you're kind of exercising your brain so that way it can like function better and do better, be healthier, if that's that even makes
I love
sense.
things like that. It's like there's an app called Luminosity. I used to play with it a lot. It has different like game puzzles and things that you can do. I love crossword puzzles, things like that, just to kind of get your brain going.
Yeah. Man, this was great. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys. Like, what did you have to say? What did you think about what Winston and I said earlier? And then now that like we've heard from the expert, like I think it's very interesting also what she had to say, and the superpowers that exist within anxiety and how we could use them. It's really, really cool.
For sure. And since we are on the topic of anxiety, and this just came to me, if you are someone who feels you need maybe extra help or assistance, definitely make sure you go and seek professional help with any of these, especially with a topic like this, because you could just be one conversation away from completely changing your life. So, definitely make sure you take advantage of all the resources that are out there. And we'll do our best to link something in the description below for anyone who can, resources and things like that you can look for.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we will see you guys next week. But until then, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that.
We'll see you guys.